Ever wonder what really happened behind the scenes with Lou Ferrigno, the iconic Hulk you thought you knew? This isn't just the story of a TV legend. It's a shocking tale of hidden battles, family drama, and a struggle that no one saw coming. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about the man behind the Green Giant. It's easy to imagine a childhood filled with comic books, but for Lou Ferrigno, those pages were more than just fantasy. They were survival. At just 3 years old, Lou's world went quiet. A series of unrelenting ear infections robbed him of nearly all his hearing, and no one even noticed until he stopped reacting to the world around him. Picture a toddler, surrounded by sound yet trapped in silence, unaware of why he couldn't connect like the other kids. When doctors finally diagnosed him, the solution was far from subtle. Funky, chest-strapped hearing aids with dangling wires that made him feel more like a malfunctioning robot than a kid trying to belong. Schoolyard, instead of being a safe haven, turned brutal. Children mocked his speech, gave him cruel nicknames, and even shattered his hearing aids just to watch him crumble. But Lou didn't just endure. He transformed. At home, he faced even more pain. His father, a no-nonsense Brooklyn cop, believed toughness was the only answer. When Lou came home in tears after being bullied, there were no hugs, only harsh discipline and locked doors. His father's words cut deep. "Don't come home if you can't fight your own battles." That sentence would echo in Lou's mind for years. But where many might have shut down, Lou found strength in the silence. He trained himself to read lips like a second language. Every day in class, he sat in the front row, scanning mouths, watching hands, interpreting expressions. He didn't ask for sympathy. He just figured things out on his own. One night in 1964, a grainy black and white image on a television screen changed everything. Lou was just 13 when he saw Steve Reeves play Hercules. That wasn't just a movie. That was the blueprint. That was what strength looked like. Unshakable, unapologetic. Inspired, Lou began creating his own gym out of whatever he could find. Old cans became weights. Broomsticks became barbells. He didn't just dream of superheroes. He trained to become one. Then as a teenager, Lou was building more than muscle. He was building armor. His workouts weren't just about size. They were about survival, about becoming someone who could no longer be ignored or underestimated. He trained in silence, with every rep rewriting the story others had written for him. By 17, he had sculpted a body that turned heads, joined his first real gym, and began his journey into professional bodybuilding. Ambition isn't always enough to pay the bills, so Lou took a job at a metal factory. Dangerous machines, deafening noise, and sharp edges. Hardly the ideal place for someone who couldn't hear, yet he endured it, packing his meals with precision. Boiled eggs, tuna, cottage cheese, fuel for the machine he was building. But then something terrifying happened. A co-worker's hand was crushed by a press right next to him. That was the wake-up call Lou didn't ignore. He left that factory and never looked back. It was time to chase something bigger. And then, like a lightning bolt, it happened. In 1973, Lou Ferrigno became a name people couldn't ignore. At just 21, he shocked the bodybuilding world by winning both Mr. America and Mr. Universe. It wasn't just a win. It was an eruption. At 6 feet 5 inches and nearly 285 pounds, Lou was a force. A year later, he did it again. Another Mr. Universe title. With all that glory came a cruel twist. There was no money in it. Bodybuilding, for all its spotlight, left Lou financially stuck. Still scraping by, still working factory jobs to survive. Then came 1975, and with it, Pumping Iron. The documentary was supposed to spotlight the elite of bodybuilding, but it did more. It turned Lou and Arnold Schwarzenegger into icons. Their rivalry was cinematic, a mental chess match in muscles. Arnold had the swagger, the experience, and the mind games. Lou had the size and raw hunger. Before the competition, Arnold even invited Lou and his family to breakfast, planting seeds of doubt between sips of coffee. It worked. Arnold took first, Lou third. Yet the cameras didn't lie. Lou's size was unmatched. His arms were 23.5 inches, bigger than Arnold. He could reportedly deadlift 900 pounds. And this was before the modern steroid era. Strength wasn't lab-grown. It was earned. Pure effort. Pure pain. But pain has a way of catching up. At the end of that year, Lou had to walk away from competitive bodybuilding. Glory wasn't feeding him. It wasn't feeding his family. In 1980, with only $5,000 to his name, Lou married Carla Green. They started from scratch. Carla brought in $7,000, and that was their begin. Their love wasn't built on fame. It was built on grit. "We built our money and our home, and we built it from nothing," Carla once said. It was another quiet triumph in Lou's life of quiet battles. And then, fate offered Lou one last, massive chance. In 1977, the producers of The Incredible Hulk were searching for someone who could truly embody the Green Goliath. Arnold was considered, but dismissed. Too short. Richard Kiel, known for playing Jaws in the James Bond films, was brought in. At 7 feet 2 inches, he had the height, but not the power. They even started filming with him, but something didn't click. Then Lou walked in. And the moment he did, everything changed again. Everything was set. The cameras were ready to roll, and then everything changed with just one unexpected sentence from a child. The director's young son visited the set, glanced at the actor in full costume, and innocently declared, "That's not the Hulk." Just like that, the entire production took a sharp turn. The studio went back to the drawing board. What they needed wasn't just an actor. They needed a living, breathing, larger-than-life figure who looked like he'd leapt off the comic book pages. Towering, muscled, raw power personified. While that search reignited, Lou Ferrigno was prepping for Mr. Olympia, 1977. Focused. Driven. Then the phone rang. Casting call. Completely out of the blue. No prep, no warning, just an invitation to step into a legacy. Lou walked in, got slathered in green makeup, and was told to move like a beast. So he did, snarling, growling, prowling in front of the camera. That moment wasn't a screen test. It was a transformation. Hired him immediately. And with that, Lou gave up his Mr. Olympia dreams for something even bigger. Immortality in pop culture. But under the glory was pure grind. Each filming day started before sunrise. Nearly 4 hours in the makeup chair. Not the gentle kind either. It was thick, crusty, 6 layers deep, sticking to every pore. Then came the prosthetics. Forehead, nose, and teeth. Those haunting white contact lenses, they felt like sandpaper, forcing Lou to wear them only 15 minutes at a time. During the pilot episode, he stayed in Hulk form for 20 straight hours. The green makeup stuck so deeply it stained his toenails for half a year. Yes, 6 months of green feet. That's when the toll started showing. During a brutal 1978 shoot, he tore a muscle lifting a car. Other time, the chemical makeup left his skin raw with burns. Lou's weight swung like a pendulum. Bulking for scenes, slimming for press. His nutritionist raised alarms, warning it was too dangerous. But Lou pressed on. He told people in 1981, "My body feels 42. I'm only 30." And still, he did almost all his stunts. CBS had strict rules, but Lou broke them. He believed no stunt double could capture the Hulk the way he could. One night, after endless takes, a prop malfunctioned during a 4 a.m. scene. Hulk was supposed to flip a car using wires, but the rig failed. Exhausted, furious, Lou snapped. "You think I can't flip that thing?" he roared. Without hesitation, he flipped it. Himself. Or adrenaline. He later said, "That night, I became the Hulk." His back never fully recovered. What few knew was how much harder it all was for him. Lou had lost most of his hearing at just 3 years old. On set, he read lips, but when explosions and shouting filled the air, he had to guess when scenes ended. Sometimes his hearing aids gave out mid-shoot, and he'd miss key safety signal. He began wearing 2 aids at once, just to stay sharp. He never let that slow him. And those roars? They weren't his, at least not at first. Ted Cassidy, the deep-voiced Lurch from the Addams Family, did the growls originally. After his passing, Charles Napier took over. But years later, Lou got the last word. Literally. In the Avengers and Age of Ultron, Lou's voice was used, fused with Mark Ruffalo's. For the first time, the Hulk roared as Ferrigno. That meant his sound had echoed through the franchise for nearly 4 decades. While fans adored the Hulk, few saw the man beneath the green. Lou would walk into public places only to be greeted with excitement, but never by name. Always Hulk, never Lou. It hurt. Imagine giving everything to a role. only to be invisible behind it. On set, it wasn't much better. The heat of the prosthetics forced Lou to isolate in an air-conditioned trailer. While Bill Bixby and the crew laughed and joked between scenes, Lou waited alone. It was eerily similar to the Hulk's fate. Always near the action, but never part of it. Then, in 1983, Lou got the chance to live out a childhood dream, playing Hercules, his idol Steve Reeves's iconic role. But instead of classical epics, the film leaned into sci-fi chaos, filled with lasers and robots. Lou trained harder than ever. Physically, he was unmatched. But when the movie hit theaters, something felt off. The voice in the film wasn't his. Every line had been dubbed over. That stung. It reminded him of Arnold Schwarzenegger's early misstep in Hercules in New York. But where Arnold's career soared, Lou's stalled. Behind the muscle, things were fragile. Lou had married Carla Green in 1980. Between them, they had just $12,000. It shocked everyone. The Hulk, nearly broke, but fame didn't mean money. Before the TV show, Lou worked in a Brooklyn sheet metal factory for $10 an hour. Seen awful accidents. One man lost a hand. Lou quit that same week. After the series ended, the paychecks vanished. Carla became his manager. She handled bookings, scheduled appearances, and rebuilt their lives from scratch. In 1991, wrestling mogul Vince McMahon offered Lou a lifeline: $500,000 per year to join the New World Bodybuilding Federation. Today, that'd be nearly $875,000. Lou almost took it. Almost, but there was a catch: 3 months of mandatory drug testing. Lou wasn't comfortable. Meanwhile, bodybuilding titan Joe Weider offered $250,000 in cash and another $250,000 in advertising deals. Lou went with Joe. In 1992, after a 17-year absence, Lou returned to the Mr. Olympia stage. He was 41, he placed 12th. Some mocked him, but others knew. It wasn't about winning, it was about proving he still belonged. Ferrigno's most defining moment didn't come with cameras rolling or trophies gleaming. It came in 2020, far from Hollywood. His daughter Shauna was playing near his truck when a massive 1,000-pound air compressor began to tip. In a flash, Lou threw himself toward it, stopping it inches from crushing her. Bicep tore right off the bone. "It sounded like a shirt ripping," he said. The injury was devastating. His arm shrank, limp and deformed. After emergency surgery and 6 grueling months of rehab, he was back in the gym, lifting 600 pounds again. He wasn't just the Hulk anymore. He was a protector, father who would shatter his body without hesitation to shield the ones he loved. And maybe, just maybe, that's the most heroic thing he's ever done. No one ever imagined the man who once painted himself green and smashed through walls on primetime TV would quietly become Michael Jackson's private trainer. But that's exactly what happened. Lou Ferrigno didn't step into Jackson's life for fame or a photo op. He showed up 3 to 4 times a week, not for intense weightlifting, but to guide the king of pop through precise movements, therapeutic stretches, and carefully calibrated routines to help him survive the physical demands of the stage. Hidden from cameras, Ferrigno worked in silence, supporting a man battling invisible aches while surviving on a restrictive diet, sometimes eating just once a day. But between the stretches and balance ball routines, a surprising bond formed. 2 men shaped by stern fathers and impossible expectations. Lou once called the day Michael taught him the moonwalk in that private gym a cosmic experience. And in the quiet after workouts, he'd watch Jackson transform from pop deity to playful dad, laughing through hide-and-seek games with his children. While Jackson sought privacy, Lou sought reinvention. At 53, long after most celebrities retired to nostalgia circuits, he suited up in a different way, becoming a reserve deputy sheriff in LA County. Not for a role, not for ratings, but for background checks, firearm certifications, first aid courses. He earned every badge. It wasn't just a tribute to his NYPD father. It was a way to reclaim purpose. Over time, he served in 3 jurisdictions, from California to Texas. The same man known for his primal roars was now upholding the law in silence. Yet comedy also beckoned. Between 2000 and 2007, Ferrigno flipped the script on The King of Queens, where he played a self-deprecating version of himself. Gone was the stoic enforcer. Here was a gentle giant with a sense of humor. His on-screen banter with Kevin James won over audiences who'd never seen the Incredible Hulk. New fans saw him not as a superhero, but as the quirky neighbor next door. But reality TV, as always, had other plans. In 2012, the Celebrity Apprentice threw Ferrigno into the fire. Tempers boiled, especially with comedian Lisa Lampanelli, who called him and another contestant useless. Ferrigno's rebuttal was fierce and unfiltered. Audiences were split. Was he standing up for himself or losing control? Either way, he lasted 8 episodes, raised $50,000 for muscular dystrophy research, and left viewers talking. That same year, a clip of him dancing with a mop went viral. The legend still had moves. Then came a legal feud that few saw coming. Ferrigno versus his own brother. Twice in 2015, Lou sued Andrew Ferrigno over a business using their last name, demanding disclaimers and eventually a name change. It was a rare public glimpse into the fractures behind the curtain of family loyalty. Andrew, stunned, told TMZ, "Why does he need to suck me dry?" In the end, he relented. Lou's estimated net worth of $12 million at the time only fueled speculation. Was it business or bitterness? Still, his legacy powered on. While Ruffalo brought the Hulk to life in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it was Ferrigno's guttural growl fans heard in The Incredible Hulk, 2008, and The Avengers, 2012, when Hulk slammed Loki like a rag doll and snarled puny god. It was Ferrigno's primal sound mixed with Ruffalo's performance. But by Thor, Ragnarok, the Hulk was speaking in full sentences. Marvel stopped calling. Lou felt betrayed. His version of the Hulk, silent and savage, was fading. Not the Hulk I knew, he admitted. Behind the scenes, Ferrigno fought a lifelong battle few knew about. At 3, a severe ear infection stole 85% of his hearing. By 4, he had hearing aids that barely worked. Most people assumed his speech patterns were due to an accent or a minor issue. The truth was more isolated. He couldn't hear his own voice. By his late 60s, his word recognition had dropped to 18%. But in 2021, at 69, everything changed. A friend convinced him to get a cochlear implant. In weeks, he heard whispers, ticking clocks, car engines from down the street. He called it a rebirth. First time in his life, the world came alive in sound. It was his most profound transformation yet. Then, the personal life of the former superhero began to unravel. October 2023, Lou's wife Carla, 74, filed for divorce after 43 years. Her accusations stunned the public. She claimed Lou restricted her movement in their home, confining her to 2 rooms, and failed to accommodate her dementia diagnosis. She described him as using his imposing presence, 6'5", bodybuilder strong, to intimidate rather than support. Her lawyers painted a picture of manipulation, control, and fear. He denied it all, insisting his concern was always for her well-being. The drama escalated in early 2025, when Lou sued his daughter Shauna and sister-in-law, accusing them of manipulating Carla into attempting to withdraw $500,000 from her account, even though she was deemed mentally unfit. They disabled security systems and undermined her care. A restraining order was filed, but Carla's camp fired back, claiming Lou was openly involved with another woman named Lisa, even traveling with her and attending public events. Lou's texts, expressing fears about losing the home, were used to argue that his concern wasn't Carla, it was control of the estate. And yet, despite the public collapse, Lou Ferrigno's financial empire remains vast. Over the decades, he invested heavily in fitness equipment, public speaking, and licensing his name. His luxury lifestyle includes a California mansion valued at $2.9 million, and he has owned high-end vehicles like the Mercedes G-Wagon and Range Rover Autobiography. He's been spotted wearing Rolex Day-Date and Omega Seamaster watches, symbols of timeless affluence. No private jet has been publicly confirmed. Ferrigno frequently flies first class for global appearances. He also held multiple insurance policies, spanning health, life, disability, and career protection, that helped preserve his wealth through personal setbacks and hearing loss treatment. His disciplined approach to wealth, fueled by branding, diversified ventures, and leveraging his legacy, offers a rare lesson in resilience. Build slow, ensure well, and never rely on just one version of yourself. Lou Ferrigno's life mirrors the very character he made iconic. A man torn between power and vulnerability. His story, once dominated by fantasy, now reads like a cautionary epic. Sometimes, the most shocking transformation isn't turning green, it's turning real. So from Hulk-sized fame to heartbreak and resilience, Lou Ferrigno's story is unforgettable. Smash that like button, drop your thoughts below, and subscribe, because legends like Lou deserve to be remembered.